That's working. Right. Back into Thunder. Yes. Gaijin have been doing things. Maybe. My god, this UI looks terrible. So, where's the UI scroll shit? Not there, apparently. Game options. UI scale. 66%. Let's try that. What the fuck is this massive grey bar down here? Do we really need that? Obviously we do. Apparently. I don't know. Fuck, man. Alright, so, yeah. Patch day for War Thunder. Rushed patch day, I should point out. We've got new stuff. So, let's start off at the very beginning. Well, I say at the very beginning. Start off with Americans. So what have they got? An overpriced Tier 5 tank destroyer. A M50 Ontos. God, this... Why have they changed the UI and font? It looks horrible. Sorry, I'm just looking at it. We got the M60A1 Rise P there, and the MBT70. Yeah. I mean, I covered that last year and said that they will probably put it in. Let's have a quick look at it. It's the Ontos. Basically similar to the Type 60 ATM in that it's got recordless rifles, but this has 6 rather than 2. I can do a test drive with it actually. Let's have a quick look thinking about it, because I want to check one thing on this. And that is if the guns fire in pairs or not. Because they should. Okay, so first target's there. And they're not firing in pairs. Well played, Guy Boob. Okay, so that's one thing. As far as I'm aware, that should fire both guns, well, 2 guns at a time, not individually as they were doing there. That as well is going to be hull breakable. That much I'm like almost 100% sure. Although this is a rush patch, so maybe not. Right, M60A1 Rise P here. Let's have a quick look at this. Now, I was watching someone playing on the dev server just earlier today, actually. And he was like, yeah, let's try out the ERA to see if it works. And he fires a shot, a heat round, around about there. Okay. Now, yeah, do you want to know what happened? All of those ERA blocks on the upper front plate were destroyed. It stopped the heat round, but every single ERA block there was destroyed. He then did another shot at that ERA block there. And the same thing happened to the turret. Almost all of the ERA blocks were destroyed from one heat round to around about there. That isn't how ERA blocks work. And, yeah. Working as intended, comrade. Obviously. Let's see what else we've got with this thing. So, APFSDS is down there. It's below the smoke grenade. Surprise number 1, I should say. Yeah, putting it all the way down there basically means that you've got to spend a lot of golden eagles to get it. Typical Gaijin. Yes. In that they want your money. Right, and the MBT-70 is here. Let's have a quick look at this. APFSDS rounds there. And its stock ammo, as far as I'm aware, is that. Heat. Actually, no, it gets the ATGM as well, because it's not in here. That's bizarre. Because they did that with the M68 too, and they also did that with the Sheridan as well. So why they didn't do it with the MPT-70, I have not got a fucking clue. If you don't have to unlock the smoke grenades to unlock it, yeah. Right, as far as this goes, this is the American version, the MPT-70. The Germans also get this vehicle as well, but it's called the KPZ-70 instead. Lord, that scope. And that scope for that matter. And that scope for that matter. And that one. Fuck, how many scopes do you need? Yeah, this thing, it's going to be interesting to see how it performs, I suppose. Maybe. Although I know that it's been pre-buffed, in that the APDS round is overperforming in comparison to what it actually did in real life. So, you know, magic and reasons. Let's see what else we've got. One plane, two planes. The Super Corsairs, as people are calling them. They're in there. That's the 50 cal one, and that's the one with the cannon. There is another aircraft as well, the P-51A, H even, which is sat there. Now, from what I've heard about this, is that that's got an even dodgier flight model than something like the Spitfire Mark 24. And that's why it's probably at 6.7 battering. One other new vehicle for the Americans, and that's this one. The XA-38 Grizzly, which is a Tier 4 attacker. I mean, kind of wasn't expecting that to be Tier 4, if I'm honest, but whatever. 3,850 Golden Eagles. I'll just go back to the Americans again, so we can have a look at this T114. T114, I should say. This is basically an M113 with a turret on top and a little bit of a different layout. Yeah, look at these armor values. Aluminium armor as well, so that's effective equivalent armor value of what, 50%, is it? Something like that. And yeah, I'd expect this to be able to be hull broken, or to be a vehicle that can be hull broken, but this is Gaijin, and this is a premium vehicle, so maybe not. Right, Germans next. What have we got for the Germans? We've got the Waffenträger, one of the Waffenträgers, which is this, a German tank destroyer type vehicle with an open top, very thin armour, and again, probably capable of being hull broken. And what else have we got? The KPZ-70, I've already shown you that. Well, this is the German equivalent. It's exactly the same vehicle though, other than camouflage. And the only other vehicle for the Germans as far as ground forces goes is this one. And this one is the M47. It's a premium vehicle for the Germans. And it costs you 50 euros. And it's shit. Being that they nerfed this a while back, so it's only got -5 degrees depression. Yeah. Not much to say about that, I'm afraid. Other than if you want to spend 50 euros, yeah, I can think of several other things to spend it on other than that. And German aircraft, nothing. Call me filth. One new aircraft, is it? Just the one? No, two, because you've got something else coming in as well. So the one new non-premium aircraft is this one, the Su-6 AM-42, which is basically an Su-6 but with a crap engine in it instead. Not that the Su-6 has a good engine anyway. And the other vehicle is this one, the BE-6. This, however, is another premium, and this will set you back, I think it's 30 euros. Let me just double check. I don't want to give you false information, because then I'd be just as bad as Gaijin. Yeah, 30 euros. There you go. So 30 euros for Russian filth. Really don't care about that, so I'm not going to give you an in-depth review on that. As far as tanks go, I mean, obviously, you know, Russia gets the majority of the ground forces because they need it, apparently. They get this vehicle, which is a 3.0 Battrain, which is a post-war design from the 50s, probably, which says a 3.0 Battrain. Yeah. Two 14.5mm machine guns, anti-aircraft type thing. And that will probably be hull breakable rather as well. Su-100P down here, which is a open-topped tank destroyer for Russia. Yeah, that looks a really complicated design. A 6.7 Battrain sits in the tech tree normally. Probably never used in combat, I'd guess. But that doesn't mean it doesn't sit in the tech tree. Let's see what else we got. No premium vehicle. There is one for them. The Object 120 Taran. It's not there though, because reasons. The reasons being that Gaijin apparently are afraid that if they put the Object 120 in, that it'll break the meta for top tier. That really makes no sense, in my opinion. It's just Gaijin being silly about something or other. Yeah, then we move down to the CS6 vehicles, or rank 6 vehicles. And we've got a BMP-3 there. Sorry, BMP-3, the BMP-1. Gaijin wishes it was a BMP-3. Which is that. And those armour values, I'd expect this to be hull breakable as well, if the hull breaking rules apply. See, they're not putting in. Oh, wow, they're not putting in the infantry squad that sits at the back. Okay, and looking at that, any shots to the right hand side of the vehicle are going to knock it out, even if you don't hull break it. The other thing as well is, yeah, Rip Gunner. Well, any shots into that area, he's toast. I mean, the vehicle's toast as well, for that matter, but, you know, the boom. And yeah, this is a rank 6 vehicle, and it's the one with the lowest Battrain, 7.3 Battrain. Which means that effectively can fight against the Tiger 2P, which is from 1944. BMP-1, let me just see if there's any information. No. Why does that not surprise me? BMP-1. Right, let me just check this, because I think it's from the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be slightly off with that. Entered service in the 1960s and 1966, apparently. Designed between 1961 and 1965. So you got that, which is from 1966, that fights against the Tiger 2P, which is from 1944. Yes. There's not much plans to come with it. As well as that, you've got the T-64A from apparently 1971. Interesting. This has been causing a bit of an upset, but to be honest, Gaijin have already nerfed it, from what I've heard, in both the upper glasses. Yeah, I can see that there already. It's not saying that it's composite at all. In fact, it's not saying it's got composite anywhere. That's very interesting. Because this is one of the vehicles that should have composite armour. But it's not saying it's got any. Most interesting Gaijin. There we go, composite armour. So why is it not showing that on the actual armour overlay? I mean, would it not be logical to have the armour being shown in the armour overlay rather than the X-ray overlay, which isn't showing the armour? I mean, is that, like, I don't know, logical maybe? Again, rush patch. That just looks such a mess. I almost feel sorry for Gaijin when they do stuff like this. And then I just remember, oh, but it's Gaijin. You know, they don't exactly treat us well either. Alright, for the British. No premium vehicles for the ground forces. As far as I know, there's no premium aircraft either. We've got this vehicle here, though, which is the Daimler AC Mark II. It's an armoured car. And this is broken as well. It's, yeah. Something to do with the patch being rushed again. Are you ready? You probably, well, you can't actually see it from here, as far as I'm aware. But as soon as I flick on the armour overlay, you might see it. Oh, no, maybe not. There you go. Well, I suppose it's kind of hard to actually say if that is going to give it any protection or not. I mean, because there's I know there's 4 mil of armour there, but it's also saying that here, when that's just empty space. Yeah, so I mean, if I angle it like that, see, that shouldn't be showing any armour there at all. But it is. It's saying that it's got 4 mil of armour. So that's the Daimler. First British armour car, I suppose, if you don't count the T117, sorry, T17E2 or the AC Mark IIA, but you know, who's counting? And what else have we got? Well, we've got the Striker down here, 8.0. If I just bring this up, this is similar to the Swingfire, but it's based on a different hull. I think. Is it the FE430 or 432? I'm not sure. But either way, it's a different hull. I think it's also made out of aluminium as well, yeah. And rather than having a 2-shot missile launcher, it's got a 5-shot missile launcher. But from what I've heard of it, from what I've heard so far, rather, this is also broken as well. In that, although it shows 5 missiles there, once you fire those 5 missiles there, they won't rearm. It doesn't reload. Bit of an issue. Sort of. And the other vehicle is the Chieftain Mark 10. Shinzu said the Chieftain Mark 10 was from 1981, was it? 1983, okay. Now, this vehicle has additional armour in comparison to the previous Chieftains. And that's this area here, the Stillbrook. Now, is it going to show me there? It doesn't give you the overall thickness, unfortunately. But I can say that that's going to be quite thick, for the most part. If you're taking hits to this area, any of that additional armour, then more than likely the armour will basically defeat the shell. Whether it be heat or APF SDS. Hesh as well, for that matter. That isn't going to do anything to that. Not that this is going to get shot at with much Hesh, I imagine. But this is the Chieftain Mark 10. Performance-wise, as far as the engine goes, or speed, it's actually run about the same as the Chieftain Mark 5, I think. 26.9 miles an hour and 26.9 miles an hour. The difference being, though, is that or the Chieftain Mark 10 does get APF SDS rounds. I think Gaijin have apparently added them in for the Chieftain Mark 5 as well, but I could be mistaken. Yes. Yeah, I mean, why do that? And yeah, as far as aircraft goes for the British, only one new plane, and that's the Hornet Mark 3, which is there. The Hornet Mark 3 is a high altitude interceptor, I believe, kind of design. I could be getting this mistaken with a different aircraft thinking about it, because there were a few that looked similar to this. In fact, yeah, I am 100% sure I'm getting that middle up with a different one, because the one I'm thinking of had a much longer wing. Either way, kind of similar to the Mosquito, similar loadout as well. Possibly even a similar tail, I'm not so sure. But either way, that's another aircraft for the British. And let's see, Japanese, or the Japanese rather, get 3 new vehicles: the D4Y2, the D4Y3, and the Ki 109. These two are dive bombers. Let me just bring these up. Although I'm not sure of what ordnance they can carry. Let's have a look. 1 500 kilogram bomb is the heaviest load. And the other one I assume will be pretty much the same. Different engine count at least. But as far as the actual aircraft performance goes, I imagine they'll be quite similar. And as far as the ordnance loadout goes, they're pretty much identical. Actually, this one has worse ordnance in theory, in that the other one gets rockets, and that one doesn't. Alright, now the Ki 109. This one's sort of semi-interesting, but kind of going to be utterly useless in this game. In that it's a bomber hunter. This plane was pretty much specifically designed to shoot down heavy bombers like B-29s or B-17s. And with a battle rate of 4.7, it might run into B-17s, but it's never going to run into a B-29, neither will it run into a B-24 either. And it's got 15 rounds for that gun, the 75mm. And as far as I'm aware, they're all HE. No, it now gets belts as well. Interesting. But that's a change that that I wasn't aware of. Although the penetration values for that are pathetic. Okay. Right, and as far as Japanese ground forces goes, no non-premium vehicles. Instead, we get this vehicle, the Hari prototype, which has basically come in 9 months too late for the Japanese. In that this may have sold fairly well 9 months ago, because 9 months ago Japan didn't have a tier 4 premium tank when they were first put into the game. But now, I don't think it will be popular at all, because anyone who's been playing this game for the last 9 months will probably have tier 5 Japanese premium tanks already, not premium, but Japanese tanks already, and therefore won't need this. I certainly don't need this, and I certainly don't want this. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, okay, we've got a new target at 6.0 barring. Anything else? Anything for the Italians? Yes, actually, that. Okay, didn't know that that was getting put in. The S81. Let's have a look at this. And that's at 1.3 battering. It's going to be pretty slow, I guess. 193 miles an hour, yep. And what's its loadout like? Actually, that's not bad. That's not a bad loadout at all. As far as bombs go. The problem being that it's got Italian machine guns on it, and they're only 7.7s. And it's also very slow, 193 miles an hour. So yeah, that's 1.71 pretty much. There's 2 new maps being added in, specifically, as far as I'm aware, just for rank 6 vehicles. Although I've not had a chance to test out the matchmaker yet. That is something that I will be doing shortly. Because, as before, I'm not going to be doing 6.7 headache grinds with ground forces in order to unlock any of this stuff. And that's 290,000 RP as well. That's interesting. Because they said that they were going to put them in at the same research cost as the tier 5s, and that isn't. Most interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually gets increased later. Knowing Gaijin. Right. Well, that's pretty much everything that's been brushed in with this patch. Apart from, I didn't mention this horrible UI change that they've done. For some god-awful reason. Yeah. But that's about it, really. The stock ATGM on the BT-70 won't go through the upper front plate of the T-64. Whereas the stock ammo goes through the MBT-70 quite easily for the T-64, you mean. Yeah, well, you know, balance, comrade. Should have bought the, you know, T114. And then got, yeah, laughed at for buying it. Let's do a quick test drive with this, shall we? I can't change the ammo type. That's almost amazing. You know, it's almost like they knew that people were going to be interested in testing out the hash round for this, and they went, no, we won't give them the chance. Wow, that turret rotation there. Right, so that's an IT1. Bear in mind I've only got heat in this thing. And it's got a 3-round autoloader as well. I should have said something about that. But it doesn't get a stabilizer. And let me think, per unit cost, this is one of the most expensive units in game. Yeah, I'd hate you on the dev server, which was shit, right? I'm kind of glad that I didn't go on dev server, I really am. Because it would have just been, that would have been wasting my time. As always, whenever I go on dev server for this game, because they changed so much stuff in between that and it being released. For example, the Object 120. The Object 120 was on the dev server, but it's not been released. Right, well, my first priority in this patch is going to be to go for this Chieftain Mark 10. Well, actually, he'll be getting the Daemon first, if I'm honest, but won't be taking that out. But the Chieftain Mark 10 is going to be like my first ground forces, like tier 6 that I'm going to be aiming for, or rank 6 that I'm going to be aiming for. It's going to take some time. Of that much, I'm bloody sure. But my priority, like I say, will be that. After getting the Chieftain, or rather, probably running alongside that little grind, will be the American grind and the German grind. And to a lesser extent, the Japanese grind, because I say to a lesser extent, it's because there's virtually nothing there. Well, there isn't, as far as tanks go. There's no new tanks for me to research for the Japanese. So, you know, it's just working on aircraft, which is going to take me all of about a day to unlock all of that. Well, not even that, to be honest. Like an hour. As far as the Germans go, yeah, no aircraft to research. And that's really the only thing I'm interested in. That can wait. I really am not fussed about that thing. Another vehicle that I can drive around that gets hull broken? Yeah, wow, that was sign me up for that shit. I think not. And I think we'll go for the Ontos in this situation. I won't be getting that. Fuck that piece of crap. And I think rather than go for the MPT-70, I'll go for the M68-1, so I can have a look at the ERA plates, just to see how bad they really are. Considering what I've seen. And for the Germans, so yeah, like I say, KPZ-70 is what I'm going to be researching. For the Russians, don't care, they're going to be last, so I'm not even going to bother thinking about that. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it, really, I suppose, for this patch. I mean, as far as this UI change goes, Gaijin may change it again. In fact, they probably will, considering that this is Gaijin and, you know, they just change things anyway. No one asked them. No, I'm pretty sure that no one was raging on the forum saying, "Oh, you need to change this UI. It's fucking terrible." So they changed it into something worse. I mean, where's the logic in that? You know. But then again, this is War Thunder. It's what I'm used to.